We're going live.
All right. Looks like we are live. Well, for those of you that are on right now, welcome to our next webinar, Copywriting Blueprint, Building Real Estate Leads Through Social Media Strategy. Excited to have you all on today.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm Adam Williams.
My name is David Torres.
Yeah. All right. And we are Live Unreal Media. So for those of you who don't know me, so I'm one of the owners of Live Unreal Media. It is myself, Greg Erlanger, and Jeff Glover. Jeff Glover owning, all of Live Unreal companies, and then Glover U, Glover Agency. Greg Erlanger is also co-owner of this company, but as well as Easy Sales Team, #1 real estate team in Ohio. Plus, he's a Glover U coach as well. So that's who owns Live Unreal Media, and we are a real estate marketing agency. And David, what is your role here?
Yeah, so I am the head coach for social media clients here at Live Unreal. I do all of the coaching, helping realtors grow their social media presence and business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's just get right into it today. First, what I'm going to do is go through kind of the outline of what we're going to go over, because this is a pretty hefty webinar. We're going to go through some pretty meaty strategy that we're going to talk through, which I'm excited about. But here's the outline of what we're going to cover today. So first thing, we're going to go through rules of content copywriting. That's pretty important. Just some basic rules to follow. And then we're going to go through content formula, copywriting formula, especially the one Glover U uses. And then the main part of this webinar, we're actually going to go live with you here and do real examples. We're going to take ideas from you and the audience and ideas that we have, and we're going to actually help you create a script from those ideas and just different ideas around that, and kind of show you the process that we go through with our clients. And so let's get right into it. The first thing we're going to go over are 3 rules of content copywriting.
Yeah.
And so before I do that, actually, the one thing we always talk about are 3 essential skills that we go over with our clients when it comes to producing content for social media for business, like real estate. And there's really 3 essential skills. Mm-hmm. The first and foremost one is what this whole webinar is about, and that's content copywriting. If what you're saying is not relevant, it's just not good. It's your audience doesn't care about it. It's not well written. It doesn't matter how good your video looks or how good your video sounds. Anything like that doesn't really matter. It's just not going to do well.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, that's that. The second thing are your technical skills, which that's not what today's about, but that's how your camera looks, your lighting, your audio, all of those things, your set. That's important.
Yep.
And then your third thing is your delivery. That's the third skill that we focus on, is how do you talk on camera. That's also very important as well. But
Very.
The first skill, that's where it's all at. We've noticed with all of our clients, that's the #1 skill to master, and that's why you're here with us today to see how we do it. So the 3 rules of content copyright. First one, and there's more than these 3, but these are 3 that I wanted to hit on today. The first one is have a marketing directive. Basically, all realtors are told, whether they're at a conference, through a coaching program, they know they need to be on social media. They know they need to use video on social media. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people, they go to a conference or they're told they're supposed to do this, and they're like, well, what do I do? Like, what's the content ideas that I should have? So they kind of just start throwing stuff against the wall almost. Like, I'm just going to do video and just see how it goes. And the problem with that is you have to look at it like every video you do is a marketing piece. All marketing on any level should have a marketing directive behind it. So marketing is a targeted approach to reach a goal. And so every video you make should be intentional. Yep. And so that's the first rule. You have to have that process thought out. And you don't just do videos that you think you're going to like. You have to do them. We'll go over that here in a second.
Yeah. Or do them because someone else did them.
Yeah.
That's in a different market.
Yeah.
Right. And so you can't, it's not as easy as just copy and paste.
No.
Right.
No. And it should all be intentional. That's why there's a blueprint behind it for us. So it's marketing 101.
Yep.
The second thing, very crucial, is knowing your audience. Your content then, from a marketing perspective, has to be relevant to your audience. But if you don't know who your audience is to begin with, you're already kind of missing the mark. It's like you're taking aim at something, but you actually aren't taking aim at anything. You're just kind of shooting at whatever and hoping it works. So it's no different with social media and video. You need to know who your audience is before you actually write your scripts.
Yeah.
And then you could do research to find out what that is. And there's different things we do to help our clients discover that, but that's not what today's about. But knowing it's very important. And then the third thing, and this is where I think from my perspective, most realtors get, not most realtors, but a lot of people get this wrong.
Yes.
The third thing is knowing the platform you're on. They're not all the same. YouTube is not nearly the same as Facebook, which is not the same as Instagram or TikTok. Yeah. Every platform is different. So the kind of one size fits all approach does not work for video when it comes to these platforms, especially if the end goal is to generate leads, which ours is. And I would believe yours is as well. So you have to understand, on Facebook, I've seen realtors, they'll go to YouTube, for example, and they'll go live on YouTube and treat it the same way that they would go live on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work that way at all. It's totally different. So going live on YouTube, it's not a networking social site. It's not what it's for. You don't have friends who have already followed you and so forth. Or I've seen realtors, they'll do a long form on YouTube, but the strategy there, it feels like a Facebook Live.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And
Yeah. I mean, I can't take credit for this. So Gary Vee has PAC, right? PAC, and it's platform and culture, right? And so you have to know the culture of the platform so that when you post the content, it fits, right? And so you can't have, like you said, you can't have a Facebook Live type style video on YouTube because of the fact that your subscribers aren't, like the way they get alerted, the way that they consume the content on the platform, it's different. So it goes against the grain. And yes, can that be a good thing? Depends on how you do it. But you just run into bigger issues there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, people are on Facebook more frequently throughout the day than they are on YouTube as well. Like, people don't go to YouTube to check status updates of their friends and
for sure
see what's going on in that way. If you're going to YouTube, you're going there to watch shorts, or you're going there to actually watch a long form video, and you're going to spend some time on it.
Yeah.
But like, I myself use YouTube more than anything else. However, it's time blocked throughout the day. Yeah. Like, I'm not constantly checking YouTube throughout my work day but Facebook, I spend less time total on Facebook, but I'm on there more frequently.
Yeah.
Like, I'll hop on there quick to see, what's going on, but I'm not spending more than 5 minutes at a time on Facebook personally.
Yeah.
And I think that's true for a lot of people. If you're going to go to YouTube, you're going to spend a little bit of time. You're there to watch some videos.
Yeah.
So when you go live on YouTube, it's a totally different purpose. Then there's stories on Facebook. There's stories on Instagram. There's Reels, which all have different approaches to them than a YouTube long form does.
Yeah.
So understanding your platform and what you're posting it on, that's so important. So before you start writing scripts and you're like, okay, I want to do videos now, and you start doing content copywriting, you have to have that in mind. Is this going to be a long form? Is this going to be a short form? Is this going on YouTube shorts, or is this going to be for a story I'm doing on Facebook? Is it a written copy? Are you doing a post?
Yeah.
That's very different as well. So you just have to understand that before you do anything else. So those are the 3 rules that we want to get out of the way. You start there first. Those 3 rules, which, just to recap what those are, make sure you have a marketing directive, making sure you have a goal behind the video. Why are you making this video? And then that leads to everything else. Number 2, knowing your audience. Are you looking for buyers? Are you looking for sellers? Are you trying to just expand your reach? Number 3, know your platform. Is this Facebook, YouTube, whatever the case is there? And so once you have those 3 down, then you start actually working on a video content piece.
For sure.
Yeah. So the next part is actually talking through, we kind of want to go over, because we're partnered with, obviously, Live Unreal. And for those of you who follow Glover U and Jeff Glover, they actually have their own copyright formula. We kind of wanted to cover that. Ours is very similar to theirs. Theirs really does work for a lot of different applications. The one that we're going to go over most today for us really applies to YouTube long form.
Yep.
That really is the meat and potatoes of what we offer and what we recommend to do. You can take ours and still use it for some short forms and things like that.
For sure.
But here's the Glover U copyright formula, just so that you know this. You have to have a hook first. Then there's 5 steps basically to theirs, by the way, I should say. Number 1, hook. Number 2, introduction. Number 3, supporting info. Number 4, having a testimonial or an example of that information. Then number 5 is a call to action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once you have this, what I recommend to a lot of my clients is to have that at, whether it's written, print it out. GloverU has a lot of resources. So if you print it out via the GloverU app or their email, it's good to have so that you follow those steps. Like everything should be step by step by step by step, right? It's a great, it's a simple formula to follow so that when you record your video, you're not missing anything. It's not, it has the best potential it can to, to succeed on social media. And again, the hooks, they vary. Mm-hmm. You can have them super clickbaity or very intense or negative or thought provoking, right? Or just a simple question.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's different ways of going about that. Your introduction, that I'm sure that it changes over time. And it should explain who you are, what you do, and where you do it at. I think, right? That's the basics right there, and then your supporting information. Why the hook and the supporting information should go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Across with obviously your thumbnail and your title of the video.
The supporting info is like the meat of your video.
Yeah,
that's the part you're actually talking about.
And you have to stay on topic.
Yeah.
You can't go.
Yeah.
In this video, I'm going to teach you how to sell your house, and then supporting facts or the supporting info is about baking bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's an extreme example, but I have clients that when they first start, they don't know, and so they go off a tangent, and then the video doesn't make sense.
Ironically, though, people do that on Facebook Live a lot.
Facebook
Live, people get caught up in there, kind of start rambling, and next thing you know, you're talking about something totally different than you had started the video to do.
In the testimonial examples, right?
Yeah.
Jeff does a great job at putting, he's out there so much, right? He's doing the thing. So it's like every day could technically be an example for him.
Yeah.
And then your call to action, keep it brief, right? Mm-hmm. What is that? You want them to follow? Tell them to follow. You want them to subscribe? Tell them to subscribe. Newsletter? Tell them to subscribe to the newsletter, right?
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, and if you're interested in any of that information from GloverU, definitely recommend check out their app. They have a great app that you can download. Yeah. It's just a GloverU app, very simple there, and they actually have a whole section on this and a lot of free resources. So if you're not familiar with GloverU, definitely go check them out. They're awesome. So that leads to ours, though. So ours is a little bit more unique in the sense where when it comes to this formula, we made our formula specifically for unique videos to make you stand out. So there's a lot of video content that you would do as a realtor that really everybody's doing, and we still encourage those videos.
For sure.
And let me give you some examples of what we're talking about here. Obviously, market updates. You want to be knowledgeable of your market, and you want your clients and potential database to know that you're knowledgeable of the market. Now, we've all seen the videos and posts of market updates. Everybody's done them. There's different ways of doing them that are more engaging than others. Yeah. So it's not going to go viral. You're not going to have a market update that's just going to take off and get you all these leads. That's not the purpose of that video. The purpose is to showcase that you are knowledgeable of your market. If someone sees it, like, oh yeah, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So there's that type of video. Obviously, listing videos, home tours, very important as a realtor. If you do listings, you should showcase your listings.
Yeah.
You should be in the video. There's a whole lot there with that. But those aren't unique per se. They might be unique to the house. But as far as, if you're a realtor, I'm a realtor, we're both going to have listing videos on our channel. We're both probably gonna do market updates. Yep. We both might even do like local updates as far as what's happening. We're from Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
We might do local updates on what's going on there, and that's all great content to do.
For sure.
There's nothing wrong with that. But what we like to do with our clients are find videos that are unique to you and unique to what's happening in your market and help discover that. There's a little bit of legwork that goes into that and a lot of thought process that goes into it. But if you want to stand out on YouTube and you want to stand out on social media, you need to do a couple things a little bit more unique and consistently over time to really do that. And so that's what this formula is for. So I don't want you thinking as you're watching this, well, what about market updates or home tours or all the, educational videos are another one too.
Yeah.
You can do a ton of real estate.
Basic.
Yeah, educational about appraisals, about whatever the case is. There's a lot of those inspections and getting your home ready to sell. There's a whole bunch of videos you can do on those topics, which we encourage. And then we help our clients get a little more unique on those than what we've seen. But this is to go a little bit deeper, to find video content that other people, like, you can't just say, oh, well, you went to Ken Pozak's channel and did the same exact video that he did.
Yeah.
So, which, again, totally fine to do if you're in a different market and, there's nothing new under the sun, really, when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
So someone stole something from someone at some point. And that's fine to do.
Remix.
Yeah, you remix. Yeah. So I'm not discouraging that, but there's opportunity in your world.
Yes.
Because every transaction is unique. Your markets are all unique. If you live in Cleveland or you live in Detroit or you live in Baltimore or you live in LA, it doesn't really matter. Your market's going to be unique compared to the other person's.
Yeah.
And so finding video content that you can do, and that's what this is about. This is our formula here.
For sure.
So before we do that, we want to show, we're gonna share our screen here in a second, and we're gonna show real client examples of what we're talking about here. So our first one here, Luanne, she has been with us for how long now?
About 4 months.
Yeah, so about 4 months.
Yep, we can switch it over there.
So yeah, so here's Luanne's YouTube channel now. When this is one of our most fun examples here.
Yeah.
When she started with us, how many subscribers does she have?
She was at 21 subscribers. Okay, so let me preface this a little bit. She was doing YouTube for, I think she said, a couple years on her own.
Yeah.
And it didn't have any success. So this right here, as we have up here, this is just from when she started with us in September to current. And she had 21 subscribers, or 23 subscribers. Sorry, my math was bad. And so she was doing videos, but they weren't getting the traction. Like every once in a while she'd get a decent video. She's like, oh, that was pretty cool. But as far as consistent growth, there wasn't any. And she was taking so much time. She would tell me, hey, this is taking forever to shoot, to edit, to then post. And am I doing it correctly? I don't know. I have to create a thumbnail, And so through, she started working with us, early September. It took a couple weeks to get up and running. And her first two videos, honestly, they weren't like fantastic. They didn't do like great, I should say, right? And we tweaked the story or the strategy there a bit to then creating her video, the video that really took her channel off.
Yeah. Well, so what I want to show here is she's been with us for 4 months now.
Yep.
And so some of this is a little bit unique, I want to mention, by the way, of having realistic expectations.
For sure.
This is a little bit of a unique scenario here. But we will say Luanne has done a great job of following David's advice. David is her actual coach on this as a client. And she's done a great job at following your advice and scripting videos with you.
Yeah.
So now she's up to 445 subscribers. Her watch time in hours, 7.3K, almost 160,000 views on her channel now. Yeah. Which for real estate is absolutely incredible.
I mean, if we can put this back up on the screen there real quick. So she's actually up to 468 now. She's gained in the lifetime that she's worked with us. 445, yeah. And this 160, which is crazy, majority of it came from one video.
Yeah, let's show that.
So it's right down here. Do you want to show the actual video?
We don't have time to show the whole video with it.
Yeah.
But
so I mean, it's a 5 minute and 5.5 minute long video. It's gotten her 148,000 views from this one video alone. If we can click on this, this is what the stats look like just from this one video. She's got obviously almost 149,000 views there. She's gained 395 subscribers
from this one video. And did she get any leads from this video?
I don't remember the exact numbers, but she did tell me she got some people calling her, and so like they're
directly from the video.
Directly from the video, from her socials. From her YouTube, I should say.
And really quick, can you walk me through how did they get her phone number?
So we put all their contact information is obviously on YouTube. Right. Yeah. It's on their channel on the very top. It has like a tab where you can click and have
the
all that
about
content
section for her channel.
But in every video in the description, it's there.
Yeah.
It's there. So it's easy to copy and paste. Easy to find. YouTube is not just for young kids. There's older people on there that don't know how to use the platform but enjoy it. And so we want to make it as simple as possible for people to find, right? So so it's again 149,000 there, but it's what's one of these things where this was an anomaly.
Yes, it definitely that number 100.
Yes,
that number of views is very that's a huge video. But we're gonna come back to how that worked. We want to show another channel here, some very popular channels that you most likely have heard of. We'll start with Ken Pozak's here. So Ken Pozak, just to show you realistic expectations. Ken Pozak has been like, this is for I should preface this: realistic expectations for a realtor.
Yes.
On YouTube, we're not talking about Mr. Beast. We're not talking about
a small channel
Gary
startup.
V. We're
Yeah.
talking about someone who's just a real estate agent.
Yeah.
So Ken Pozak has 44,000 subscribers right now. 44.7K subscribers on average. He's got videos that have gone up to,
Yeah, his
well,
more
one he's got
popular,
in the millions
1.8 million, but that's a Shaq video.
He toured Shaq's house and all that. So yeah, and then he's got other ones, 5,000 here, and then he's got a 10,000, 18,000.
Yep.
This is somebody. Ken Pozak is somebody who's been doing this for years.
Just 609 videos.
609 long form videos. That's incredible.
I think Luane's at
What, 20?
not even, man. 24.
Oh yeah, 24 videos. So that kind of shows you it goes back to the formula we always talk about. It's consistent, high value videos consistently over time. It's just what it takes. So Ken Pozak's been doing this for years. And this is the kind of traction he gets is we're talking in the thousands for a long form video.
Consistently. Yeah.
Let's go to another channel. We know this individual was on stage at one of the Glover U events.
Yeah.
And she's killing it on YouTube. Sarah Maslowski, she's doing a great job.
Yep.
But let's look at realistic expectations for her. And she does get a lot of her business from YouTube, she said.
Yep.
And when you look at her channels and the analytics and just the viewership, it's nothing crazy. It's not, how many we have here?
52,000 is our highest one right now.
Yeah.
Which is great. Fantastic. And I want to let everyone know, like, we're not trying to brag about the 148,000. It's not that. It's more so to show, and we'll go back to her channel, to show that the formula works and there is consistency across it. Like, yes, are you going to have some videos that are duds?
Yeah,
for sure. Right. And, none of us are wizards and know exactly. We don't have a crystal ball going, is this video going to get me 10,000 views, right? Or 10 leads or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But the formula works and we're always tweaking. And we know that sometimes it's not going to work, but more often than not, it will.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially if you do it consistently.
Yeah.
And then you're developing your 3 skills that we talk about over time as well.
Yeah.
It's important. But we want to just show, with 2 other people that they're not our clients. There are 2 other people that are killing it on YouTube from a real estate perspective.
Yep.
That's realistic expectations eventually to get to.
Yeah.
And they've been doing this for years. So let's go back to Luane's channel here.
Yep.
And what I want to do is, before we get to the actual live, we're going to take some of your topics and we're going to develop some scripts here.
Yeah.
But before we do that, let's talk through that specific video. Can you walk me through, because it's a unique thing that we got 140 something thousand views on that video. That's pretty crazy. But let's talk through how that happened.
So when we obviously we meet on a weekly basis. So I've been obviously been meeting with her for a couple weeks. At this point, this was her third video we made.
Third, oh wow.
This is the third video we made. The first 2 were almost like testings. Like, hey, I want you to record. This is what we're gonna do. Let's record a video. Let's go over the script. Let's go over the content, stuff like that, and we'll put it out just to get you comfortable in front of the camera. After those 2 videos, we then sat down and then really got into like the formula. Hey, okay, what is and I asked her, what is happening in your market as of today that you didn't see a couple months ago, 3 months ago, whatever, or even 5 months ago, whatever the case may be, right? And she was saying, in my area, she's in the Michigan area. I'm trying to think. I can't think of
like Fenton or somewhere.
Yeah, and that I'm not too familiar with Michigan, so but
OH.
yeah, so there we go. And so so then she was saying, hey, the clients that I'm meeting with, they're coming to find out they want to sell now, and their home or their values aren't as high as they thought they were.
Yeah,
they're actually going the opposite way, and so. She's the real estate expert.
Was this like when the appraisal was hitting, or?
Yeah. They would come to do the appraisal, and they're like, "Wait, my house is not worth this much. I thought it was worth this much."
Gotcha.
Right? Obviously, you take into consideration the market goes up and down, but her being the expert, like, yes, we know real estate. We know you tell me something about the real estate market, I kind of generally have an idea because we've been doing this for so long. But I don't know it's specific to the market.
Well, you're not, and you're not a licensed realtor.
Correct. Yeah. So number one, I'll never give you real estate advice.
Yeah.
But then, so I asked her, okay, so what's the reasoning for that? Like, why are they coming back wrong? Or not wrong, but a different price than what they thought.
They're undervalued.
Yeah.
Than what you thought.
And so she's like, oh, they're like, the main thing that I've seen is there's things that they're doing or not doing that are bringing down the value of their home.
Gotcha.
Right. And so I was like, well, like what? And she's like, well, some people aren't keeping up with their homes. They're just letting them, they're lived in, which is fine, but they're not. Just gotta hit my mic there. They're not taking care of it as far as like they're letting their decks rot, right? Okay. The grass is overgrown, right? So it's like, so we narrowed it down to 5 things, and she came up with over improving their properties, right? So there's very, they were taking walls down that most people probably wouldn't do, and it's like, well, now for someone to buy it, they have to put the wall up.
Like over customizing,
yeah, like customizing it. Yeah,
okay.
It's like,
Gotcha.
oh, they broke this. It used to be a room, or maybe it's like a little den, but now it's like part of the living room because they tore down walls, or they put up walls, right? Because it fits their needs. Yeah. Or they were over personalizing their homes. It was like the paint, their pictures and stuff, like the decor. One house she showed me had like old school wallpaper still on the houses, which was nuts to even see. They're again ignoring the curb appeal, not making upgrades to their home, so they still have the same cabinets that they had when the house was probably built, in the 60s. And or just again, the biggest one was like not doing anything, right? Okay, they're just not doing nothing, like just nothing. They're not touching anything. And so with that information, I was like, okay, well, let's explain this. Like, let's put this into simple terms. Let's put this into a way that your average person that doesn't know real estate would understand and say, oh, I'm doing this, right? So she came up with the script. She put it together. We kind of blocked out some things and said, hey, this is how we should do this. And then let's go with the most in your face.
So before you get to the hook, let's talk to because we're talking about the blueprint here.
For sure.
So let's talk through it. Okay, so let's say, well, David, I don't have a coach.
For sure.
If a lot of you on the call probably don't have a coach helping you with this process.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a coach, here's what we're talking about here, and you could do this with or without a coach. Basically, from what I'm gathering, what you did was you took a moment and you thought, what's unique to my market and happening right now?
For sure.
And this could be happening in other markets too, but that's what she's dealing with. So basically the key point here that I want to reference is that's a real life example.
Yeah.
Like, so one thing I always tell like clients is, as a realtor, you have potential video topics happening around you every day.
All the time. Every day.
You could have a buyer experience that's just unique. Well, there could be a potential video idea. Or you have a listing experience. Wow, that was a weird situation. Or this just came up. There could be a video idea. And one thing to remember when it comes to writing blueprints and things for YouTube specifically here, remember you have to know your platform. Well, YouTube itself is a search engine. Mm-hmm. That's what it's mainly used for nowadays. Google owns YouTube, and now when people search for things, they go to YouTube to search, or if they're not searching on YouTube, maybe they're searching on Google. Google is now putting YouTube videos up top.
Yep.
It's the first thing you see. Yep. So people use YouTube as a search engine. So what we're encouraging our clients to do is you see a problem out there, which in this case, appraisals coming back underpriced from what they thought they would, which I'm sure blows up deals, and it's not a fun experience for anybody. Yeah. So you have frustrated clients. Well, people start searching. Yeah, they start asking, why is this happening?
Yeah, why is my house losing value?
Yeah, or how to prevent that.
Yep.
Or they even just search a simple thing like, what do I do for my appraisal? Or how do I have the best appraisal? Like, people search that kind of stuff. So what she's doing here is we're encouraging people to make videos to answer those questions. So first step in our formula is discovering the video content ideas that could be there. And that happens in your everyday life in real estate. Yeah. We're not talking about walking your dog. We're not talking about just something cute and fluffy or what. There's a lot of different things people do like on TikTok for attention. That's not what this is. These are real high value content ideas that happen in your everyday life as a realtor. Yeah. And so looking at that first and foremost, there's the idea.
Yep.
Now you have to take it and apply the formula to the idea itself, which
for sure
you helped her do with, let's go through 5 things that are happening. And this came from the realtor saying, from Luane saying, these are the 5 things I'm experiencing.
Yep.
And so there's your 5 key points.
Yep.
That's the meat of the video.
You can build from there. And, it's no secret. Like, ChatGPT makes life super easy.
Let's talk about ChatGPT.
when you prompt it correctly, right?
Yes.
So, like, for her, she took, those 5 points, threw them into ChatGPT to give her the basis, like, the bare bones of a script.
Yeah.
Right? But it had a lot of information to work with. So it's like, create me a script using these 5 points.
Yeah.
For home sellers or people that are looking to sell their homes in the Michigan market, right? Give it all the details that you can, right? and it came out with a script. Now, what she did was she personalized it to her. Right?
Yes.
The way that she speaks, she's actually really funny. And so like every once in a while she'll throw in little like jokes and you see her personality via her content, right? And so she's tweaked the script to fit that. The way that she speaks was adding extra spaces, for her teleprompter and things like that. And then, again, we worked on tweaking things to say, hey, you can't use, I call it realtornese, right? The lingo, right? Yeah. And it's like, don't use that. Like, we don't know what this means. If I wasn't in what I do now, I'd be like, okay. And
your average person might not know basic real estate language. Basically.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, take that out. Take it out and give me the layman's term, right?
It's like when you write stuff for website content, they say, I think third grade reading level.
Yeah, something
like
crazy.
It's kind of similar, like keep it basic. Yeah.
And there's apps for that as well.
Yeah.
You can literally, anything is available. Everything's available online.
A key point, though, that there's a little bit of a side note here. Can you use Chat GPT to help generate video content ideas? You can.
You can, like, but they're generic.
Yeah, and so can everyone else. Yeah. If you go to YouTube right now, if you go to Chat GPT and you type in, hey, give me 10 long form video ideas for real estate. Yeah. Anyone can do that. They're not specific to you, and they might not be relevant to what's happening in your market. So it's kind of the same concept. Like Jeff Glover, he talks about why their coaching is so effective is because he's on the ground with them. And he's there experiencing this in real life. So it's real time things that are happening. Yep. Well, it's same for you. Your content is more effective when you're giving real life solutions to real life current problems that you're discovering. Mm-hmm. And so that's definitely one of the key points here.
For sure.
So let's move on then to, so you started with the content idea, you help her discover that.
Yep.
They can discover that just by looking at their everyday life of real estate.
Yeah.
And then you had your supporting points first here, it looked like, where it's kind of like you have your 5 things I'm going to talk about with this, but then you have to have the most important part. One of the most important parts is a hook and title.
Correct.
So title is not in the copyright formula per se.
No.
But what we're talking about here is the YouTube title of the video itself.
Yeah, it's part of the overall strategy. But
that's a very important.
But it's part of the copyright in a sense.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just not a part of like the original copyright formula.
For sure.
But when it comes down to your YouTube title, we recommend that be one of the first things you actually.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have someone doing that for you. If
you
have to write your own title, that should be one of the first things you do, which in this case, what's the title?
So for her, we actually went through a few different ones. The one that really took off was, are you causing your home to lose value? Just very straight to the point. And it doesn't fit necessarily the generic or the standard of like searchability. It does have the keywords.
Yeah.
Right. And it goes into like your channel tags, your video tags, and all that stuff that helped for sure. But the main thing was like we wanted the shock value. When someone came across that's like, "Are you causing your home to lose value?" You're like, "Wait, am I'm the reason? Not is the market causing my right?" So it's like we wanted to make it very personable and say, "You are doing things or not doing things that are causing your home to lose value. It's your fault. So watch this video so that you can fix it." Right. And so we went around that. And then we just put on her thumbnail, 5 things that devalue your home. Right.
Which, I mean, if the reason that, in my opinion, that this did go, it's not viral from like a normal YouTube standard, but from a real estate standard, it kind of is. One of the reasons is that's a very shocking title. It's a very dramatic title. I like drama in titles
for sure,
because then I want to click on it. I want to find out, am I devaluing my house?
Yeah.
Even if I'm not selling my home at this time, like that's important. I don't want my house devalued. No one does. So that's a very well worded. So one thing I want to point out here for your own content copywriting skill set is when it comes to writing titles and your descriptions like that. Let's say it's a video on appraisals. You don't want to do a title that just says appraisal 101.
Yeah, it's too broad.
It's too broad and it's not interesting enough. It's just like, I don't want to learn. To me, when I see that title, I'm like, it's just a class on appraisals, which I don't really want to take a class on appraisals.
Yeah.
But this is kind of appraisal 101. Really, at the end of the day, these are things you can do for your home to make sure your home appraises properly. It's kind of similar. It's very, very much in the same area, but one is way more dramatic. Yeah. And so that's where it comes down to knowing your platform and understanding. People have a selection on YouTube. They're going to choose based on the thumbnail and title of that video. That's what they're going to choose based off of that.
Yeah, it's like, again, you just said the platform. Would Appraisals 101 work well on a courses, like a course type of platform, right? Yeah, because you're taking the course for Appraisals 101, right? So it's like you want that. But again, when it's something that it's, you know, you're there for the class, that makes sense. You know what the class is about. It's about appraisals. You know, and then subs, then you have your whatever the other courses or what it is that you're going to be going over on a platform where you are there just to learn something. You're looking for something specific. Appraisal 101 is just gonna get lost in the huge melting pot of videos that are in YouTube.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's the title and the thumbnail there. But then let's move on then to the actual content formula then. So you have your kind of supporting points already there, the meat of the video. You understand what you're talking about.
Yep.
Now you have to do a hook, intro, all of those things are next. So walk us through how you approach the hook and the intro.
So it's funny. We actually took, so this is her hook.
Okay.
Like this is her act. Like, can you put that up on this? Oh, it's on the screen. Yeah, perfect. Are you causing your home to lose value? Like that's, and then the way she did it, again, she's a very sweet, very nice. She's funny, but she was like, "Are you causing your home to lose value?" Right? It's like very like, are you the reason? And so at first you're like, "Oh wow," and then right into her introduction. My name is Luane Bastianelli. I'm a realtor with Glover Agency in the Michigan area. And kind of what she does. And I create videos, to
it's like a channel
to educate. Just to educate people on real estate, on their real estate needs, right? And and I'm paraphrasing.
So when it comes to the intro and the hook, the hook, would you say is for that hook, is there a specific for YouTube long form?
Yeah.
Is there a specific time frame you're looking for? Or does it really matter? Or is it just more that it hits you?
It should be quick, like you need to capture people's attention, right? It's the first like 3 seconds of the video. And usually if we look at the trend line, like on the analytics, for most people, it's immediate. Like if that hook's not strong, it's like bloop. It just drops. Do you get people that make it? Sure, for sure. But it's like for the most part, it's like first 3 seconds, boom. It's like under 10 seconds. It just drops, right? And so you have to be careful with how long that is, because then you also start to over-explain in the hook.
Okay.
Because I've seen it where they get into the hooks like, are you causing your home to lose value, or are you the reason that, right? And they just start expanding on it, and it's like,
it lost its power. Okay.
It's like, come on.
Sense. Yeah.
Right. So it's just very simple, very quick. Introduction, same thing. I mean, her introduction is probably like 3-4 seconds long, if that. And then it's like right into the video.
Okay. Gotcha. That's fair. Right. And I would say just for those of you who do short form, just keeping in mind it's even more important. Because short form, they didn't click a thumbnail. They didn't choose to watch the video. Typically, it's force-fed through the algorithm. You just randomly scroll to it. And so most of the time, that's how they find that video. And so the first, like from my perspective, I would say 1 to 2 seconds are the most important. So you got to get that hook immediately and hit it hard. And then, even on an intro, you don't want to spend much time on an intro on a short.
Yeah.
Like, because you want to get to the point quick because people just move on.
Yep.
So, okay. So then you did your supporting, your points here.
Yeah, we just went right through all of the actual information there, right? So it was like boom, 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 boom. She expanded on each of those points, making sure that it's very sweet to the point.
And does she use a teleprompter?
She does. She does use a teleprompter. She also provided like pictures of these homes and like things that she's seen, right? Obviously with permission from her clients, but it was to show, when she talks about the rotting decks, she wanted to visual, like we use it to visually show you like, it's bad, right? Overgrown lawns and stuff like that, right? So it's like all these other things that really helped what she was saying. And
disclaimer here, we did edit the video, so that's why I said that she sent us pictures. But if you don't have an editor, these are things you can be doing.
Throw videos, pictures, anything that'll enhance and support what you're saying. Because someone can say, they didn't take care of their decks or their lawns, and it's like, I didn't cut my grass this week, right? It's like, okay, but it's like when you see the picture and you're like, oh, okay, I see what they're saying, right? It's like, Okay, all right, yes, that makes your house look bad, right?
Or if you're doing this on your own, there's different stock footage places you can go to find
sure.
things like that if you don't have access to it.
Yep.
We use a lot of those resources as well.
For sure.
So,
Yeah. And then her call to action for this one specifically is, ironically enough, it wasn't to reach out to her.
No.
It was to follow her channel.
Okay.
Follow, subscribe. If you found value in this video, subscribe to my channel.
She did get a lot of subscribers.
She did, which is great,
Yeah.
right? And so it's one of those things where, again, keeping it simple.
What do you recommend? Do you recommend to have a mixture for your call to actions? Do you recommend for if you're doing a YouTube channel for real estate, do you do the same call to action on every video, or is it kind of mix it up a little bit? What's your approach on that?
For the most part, they should be like, we go back to what you said in the beginning. You need to have a plan. What is the reasoning why you're making this video? Is it to grow your sphere? Is it to grow your brand? Is it to grow your channel? Is it to get leads? And tailor that video to that.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can't make let's say you do a video on people, you're looking for people to move, right? When they move, they're relocating.
Yeah, relocations,
right. If you're making a video on relocation, you can't say, call me to sell your house. It just
okay.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense because I'm not.
So you're thinking through. You're taking the marketing directive from the beginning of the video.
Yes.
Before you even start the script, and you're applying that to the call to action. That makes sense. So if you're doing if you're moving to, somewhere in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah. That's where you're doing this video at. You wouldn't say, call me to sell your house, because
you can't.
That's important,
right?
Yeah. So it's thinking through.
So this one could have gone the different ways. Like, call me to maybe help you with your appraisal. Call me to maybe do a consultation. Follow my channel. Use this video as a to send me referrals, like whatever the case may be, right? Because it fits that. Maybe buying a house might not have worked that well, right? Because it's not geared towards someone buying the house, right?
What about, do you ever recommend for our clients to say things like, hey, comment in the video what you've seen too?
For sure.
Like to get some engagement.
Which she did. I think she did, which is funny because then you got like people that were like, talking about the wall in her house. And it's like, well, she's not looking to sell her house. But good point. Yes, you're for sure. Like, yes, that's right. And that's something that she said. She was like, yes. And when I sell my house, or when I go to sell my house, I'll make sure to depersonalize it. But throwing things in like, smokers, people that smoke in the house, it's hard to get that, or have pets in the house, it's hard to get those smells out.
But the purpose behind saying, hey, comment on this video if it's really for the algorithm to get, and you want to start building a community on YouTube. For sure. So it's very intentional. It's not just saying it. And there might be videos you do where you don't do something like that, where it's like, comment on this video. For sure.
Yeah, it's good to get
so your call to action can be tailored to the video and then to the marketing directive behind the video itself. So there's just some thought that has to go into it. Yeah. And then earlier in this webinar, we did mention we put her contact information actually in the description,
which we actually did not. We did not, because of the fact, again, the call to action was not for people to reach out. Okay. But her channel was, and that's how I'm assuming people found it via that. And a thing that we didn't mention, the way that we put these videos together, I'll give you guys a quick little cheat here. If you can put this up on the screen. After you upload your video, there's these things called end screens. So in this end screen, you can put the next video that you want people to watch in your thing. So we've noticed that on her other videos, they're coming from this video. So it's like people were going to another video on her channel, and those, again, depending on what the point of it is, the contact information's in there. For the most part, I'd say 99% of the time we do have contact information in there. Again, this is like her third video, right? Yeah. So it's like one of those things where we didn't want it to come across like salesy. Mm-hmm. Use us, call me for information, right? But it's like more so for, hey, can we get the people in, send them somewhere as far as like to subscribe, and then send them to other videos. So then we change this every once in a while to go to maybe her most recent. So we change this to most recent, or we change it to,
Because if you don't do that, YouTube's going to put something there, right?
Yeah, it'll throw the next video on the right-hand side.
Whatever YouTube thinks, because YouTube wants you to stay engaged, so they'll put something there. Yep. So yeah, definitely if you're posting on your own, definitely look at that. And that's good. Cool. So yeah. Well, thanks for sharing all that. That's really cool.
For sure.
So now I want to do something fun and a little bit challenging. And so in the comments there, what we'd like you to do is we want to hear an idea from you as far as what is happening in one of your markets. If you can in the comments write, we're going to do an exercise here basically.
Yeah.
Same thing we did with Luane. We're going to hear one of your comments, if you can write in there and say, hey, this is what I'm experiencing here. And we'll take it and try to develop a video idea from one of your comments here in the chat. So if you can take a moment in the chat and actually put something in there that you're dealing with in your own market.
Yeah.
It could be something with appraisals. It could be something with the house prices themselves, or the trending going down or something.
Yeah.
It could be inventory issues.
What it shouldn't be is interest rates, because that's very generic. Yes, can it be specific to your area for sure?
Yeah.
But we want something that just keep it specific, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I have a client that I'm talking to who, in their area, they work specifically with a lot of engineers, doctors, and like security people who are very high end. And so the type of videos that they're going to be making are very tailored and very unique
100%.
compared to other realtors in a different market. So just things like that. What are some things that, we have some examples too we can use as well. But what are some things that you guys are seeing in your markets that we could potentially make a video idea for you? So we'll give you guys a second to think of something. And
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's the ideas are. The main thing is when I meet with my clients, I tell them. Actually, I met with Tulio last week, and I always ask him hey, what's changing? What's changing in your market? And he was saying how there was 600 homes available to on the market. And I'm thinking 600 homes, that's a lot, right?
Yeah.
He's like, no, that's not a lot in our area. I mean, thinking too now Colorado's pretty, Colorado, he's in the Colorado Springs area. That's pretty decent. So imagine the whole state. And so I was like, oh, well, interesting, right? And so then we're developing an idea from that, right? So it's again, something very specific to his area. He could have, he always tells me, people always ask me interest rates, here we go. My clients are having a hard time navigating the negotiation process. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So there's in here. A lot of my clients are buyers and having a hard time navigating the negotiation process. What videos can I make to help with this? So so I mean that's a good thing. So the main thing first is what I would ask, when I work with my clients is, or if you don't have a coach, what I would do is find out, specifically what's the biggest issue in that negotiation process. Is it the fact that they just don't know how to do it, but that's more on you, the realtor, right? And then you explaining the whole process, how does that actually work? So that could be a video in itself. What
educational video?
What is the negotiation process as a whole? What does that look like? What are the obstacles that we're going to face? What are and then you have to think of how you present that issue, right? So you can't just go, a reason that you need to work with me is because I understand the negotiation process. I know that you have to do this, right? So it's like now it's about you.
What about because my brain when I do this goes immediately to titles.
For sure.
So I think titles first. And so one title that just came to my mind was 5 things that kill your negotiating process for buying a house, or 5 things to hurt the negotiation on buying your house.
Yeah, the 5 mistakes you make.
Or 5 mistakes, something like that, where it's a little bit dramatic.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be 5, by the way. My mind always
No, you can go the Jeff Glover. I call it the Jeff Glover hook, which is 17 reasons, right? Or
21.
Yeah, it's always a random number. Yeah. And I think I know. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say I know smart. He does it because it's you can think, oh, I know 5. Yeah, I know 5 of those. Yeah. And then it's
now we don't always encourage doing a 17-point video because your video's gonna be 2 hours long.
For sure.
Don't want to do that. But for this specific example here, you could actually, what I would encourage you to do would be to think through what are 5
Yeah.
things that you've experienced that buyers do, or just that kind of mess up the negotiation process. Is it lack of understanding on pricing? That's probably a big one. Or, one thing I've heard in this type of market is that buyers are starting to have more and more objections to houses. Basically, we just came out of a market where the house would sell before the photos even come back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so quick because you didn't really have chances to, I don't, like Jeff used the example, I don't like the doorbell the way it sounds. That's what we're hearing now. And now all of a sudden you have to start working with objections from buyers. So those are the types of videos now that I would start working on. And the video content, the title around that could be 5 things you're doing to lose the opportunity on your home, or to lose the negotiation, or to lose the offer, whatever the case is there. You could come up with a title, but you're looking at things that have happened in your personal life as a realtor that buyers are doing wrong or not understanding.
Well, I mean, not to get off this specific title here or this video idea, but you can go the route. So like one of my clients was talking about how their unique value proposition is they pay for the pre-listing inspections once their client decides to work with them, right? So before once you sign the paperwork, you're looking to sell the house, we're going to pay for a pre-listing inspection, make sure that everything's good, all right? And then when it goes on, it gets appraised and blah, 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 or the negotiation starts, there's no issues, right? It's like, oh, well, I found out that the roof leaks, or, right? Everything's taken care of. Yeah. And so you can't go about, like I said, you can't go about it by saying, reason you need to work with me is because I pay, or my team pays for your pre-listing inspection, right? So their route was they brought in an inspector to a home that they were about to put on the market and had him do his thing. And they walked around and asked him questions. Hey, so today we have so-and-so from this company. He's going to be doing this. And then kind of filming him as he does certain things. And then it's like, oh, so what are you looking for right now? Oh, I'm looking for mold here, blah, blah, blah. In their area, termites are big. So it's like we kind of just do a general check to make sure things are good. If we see any signs of them, we need to hire a termite inspector and kind of, all these things. And like, oh, okay, cool. And why do you do this? And why do you do that? Right. And then at the end of it was like, this is why it's so important, and why we believe it's so important. Then this is why we go ahead and do this for our clients. Yeah. Right. So it's like, so the same thing with like this, your clients are having this issue. You can't just go out and say, well, the reason they're having this issue is because this, and this is why you need to work with me. Finding out a way to incorporate, maybe it's, Jeff does these mock interviews with home buyers, right? And showing those things, like how you would handle the objections, how you would negotiate. That's a great way of doing that, right? Yeah. You can put that video together where, again, you're putting yourself on the seat to have someone ask you questions or object, or maybe seeing if a potential client can sit down with you and just go at it, like do your thing, like actually go through the process, right? Not only does it answer the questions on, hey, these are the issues that I'm having, this is how we're going to navigate those issues, but then it also shows that you know what you're talking about, right? So it's like a dual purpose type video. Obviously without, without the specifics to what are those,
like 5 things.
Yeah. What are the things that are actually having,
or 5
like what are the objections you're seeing? What are the issues that you're having? Then you would have to put those into bullet points.
To answer this question specifically, then what you're doing is you're looking to create a video. We would help you create a video or on your own of answering the question of how do you navigate the negotiation process properly. Obviously having a good realtor is number one, but I wouldn't want to lead with that. Yeah. Because it doesn't really help the client immediately. No. You're all about adding value. So what I would do is here are 5 things you're either doing wrong, or here are 5 things you need to do to make sure your offer gets accepted. Yeah. Or 5 things you need to, exactly. So you're looking to answer that question more than anything else. And then you discover that, then you do a hook. The hook, I like drama. That's how I typically lead with. You can do high value hooks too. There's a whole bunch of them you can do. And then you just follow that formula where start with, you have your content ideas there, and then you go through that, write your 5 points out. You have your hook, your intro, those 5 points or whatever amount of points you do, 21 if you want. And then you go through your call to action towards the end there and have that then. In this specific instance, what I would say for a call to action, something like that is, hey, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, or if you're looking, not to sell, sorry, I always say sell after I say buy for some reason. But if you're looking to purchase a home and you need more information on tips like this, please give me a call. I'd love to help you make sure you get your offer accepted, or something along those lines where you're actually saying, hey, I'm available. Come talk to me. And I would have it very, not salesy. The way I kind of just did it was a little salesy, but I would have it very organic and just, hey, I'd love to have another conversation with you to help you understand the best way to navigate this process.
For sure.
You're just adding value for free, basically, and then you put your contact information, something like that. So as we're closing out here, that's what we do with our clients. And whether or not you have a coach or not, you can follow that formula where you look at what's happening in your life as a realtor, look for unique video opportunities, and start developing the content around that. Make sure you have your hook first and foremost, have your intro, all of your supporting points, examples, things like that, and then a call to action that's tailored to that marketing plan that you have. And so as we close out, we wanted to talk really quick about what we offer.
So obviously from the, in the beginning, we stated we are a marketing agency that works specifically with realtors. So we know realtors, as Jeff says, we're, he's on the ground with you. We kind of are on the ground with you. Obviously we don't sell real estate, but we work with so many realtors. It's like all we hear is real estate.
That's all we do is real estate. And we have real estate backgrounds. So basically, we have different packages, and for today only from this webinar, if you're watching this webinar, or if you have the recap from today only, we are offering a 20% discount on any of our packages. So we have a couple main packages. One, let's say you're someone who just wants video editing. You're like, hey, all I want is video editing. We can look at doing that for you as well. We have a package for that. We'll actually put our website. It's actually in the chat right now, so thank you for that, Tyler. The website's right there. You can click that and see our packages there. But we do have our video editing package where that's very simple. You can send us your videos and we will edit them for you. We have a whole team of professional editors that we work with. They're in-house. They're not overseas. They actually are here in our office, and we work with them every day. So that's the first package. Second package, we have a Social Pro package that comes with a once-a-month coaching meeting. And then there's a certain number of shorts that come with that as well. And it's really, that one's geared towards short form video. So if you want short form video and you really want ideas on creating content around shorts, that's what we do on that one. We give you ideas, and then we edit those for you and we post those for you. The main package though is the YouTube Pro package, which is our long form, really geared towards long form, like we just talked about. Shorts are included as well from the long form, but that comes with a once a week coaching with David or one of our coaches, and we help you just like we just did here. It's a live meeting where we actually talk through ideas, what's working, what's not working, help you script the video, and then you film the video, you upload it to us, we edit the video for you, and we post the video for you, and then we actually go over analytics to showcase, hey, is this working, is this not working? And really the whole goal of everything we do, the goal is to generate leads. That's why we do what we do. It's not just for exposure. Getting exposure is great. Obviously, as a real estate agent, if everybody in your city knew that you were a real estate agent, you'd have more business. It's a well-known fact.
I mean, we have a client who's been with us for a year, and when she started with us, 30% of her business came via social media. She was very into social media. She doesn't door knock. She doesn't
a lot of the traditional prospecting.
Sorry, Jeff. And she just social media, and she's been with us for a year. Her business is over 50%. I think she said 55% now is all based on social media, right? People are coming up to her seeing, oh, I saw your video, or people messaging her, hey, I see your videos all the time, I want to work with you. So not pinpointed to a specific video, but definitely coming from social media and all the different platforms that we post to. So not just YouTube, but Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn.
So the point here is we know it works. We know that when it comes to real estate, we know that realtors are better spent with their time actually working with buyers and sellers. And, other prospecting methods as well are important. And so if you're video editing and all of that, we definitely would ask you, is that the best way to leverage your time?
For sure.
And so when you could leverage another company to do that for you professionally. So if you are interested in that, the way it works is we have a free consultation that comes with it. We like to have a consultation first and foremost with these packages, simply because the package isn't for everybody. There's work involved in this. If you want to be on YouTube and get business from YouTube, it's a long game. It's not very quick. You see in a lot of Luane's channel, you'll see videos that didn't do so well, and there's reasons for that, and you'll have some duds that go out there. But anyways, it's a long game. There's a lot of competition on YouTube. You have to be committed to it. it's one of those things where you can do it for 3 months and you might not see a lead for the first 3 months. And that's just kind of how it works sometimes. But over time, you should start seeing leads. So we want a consultation with you to make sure you understand what you're getting into, what this is. It's very involved. But the goal is to leverage your time properly so that all you have to do is film the video and you're doing it the right way with coaching, and then we handle it from there. So that's how that works. If you're interested, please go see our website. It's in the chat there. Today only 20% off on those packages. 20% off if you sign up for a consultation, I should say. Today only. You don't have to sign up for the package today. It's just book the consultation there through our website, and we will actually get you locked in at a 20% there.
Sounds good.
But thank you for everybody who attended and who are watching the recap here. We're going to have another webinar next month, another similar topic where we're going to be adding value. And So
Sweet.
Yep,
Thank you,
a good
guys.
one. Yeah, awesome.